Hi there and welcome along. Today we're looking at the Regent ABC in Norwich. In the process of my research I came across two cinemas within a few steps of the ABC, well, a few yards down the road. One I was aware of and one that I was not. So let's get underway. The Regent Theatre was built on Prince of Wales Road in Norwich city centre. It was designed by architects G. Duncan Fitt with J. Owen Bond. Work started on July the 26th, 1922 with a stone laying ceremony, but I cannot find any photos of that. At the same time, the 900-seat cinema further down the road called the Prince of Wales Cinema closed its doors for good. So, let's have a quick look at that forgotten cinema. Situated at the Foundry Bridge end of Prince of Wales Road, it was originally built as the new Assembly Rooms. It became the Prince of Wales Cinema in June 1912 during the silent movie era and became known best for its creaking wicker chairs. But work starting on building the Regent sounded the death knell for the Prince of Wales Cinema. The building later became the Grosvenor Rooms, and that is when its main claim to fame occurred. In the mid-50s, the Grosvenor Rooms started putting on jazz and skiffle concerts and is known for being one of the first major establishments to embrace the coming of the teen beat era. Most famous now for the visit of the Beatles on the 17th of May 1963, backed by popular local outfit Ricky Lee and the Hucklebucks. After an afternoon sound check, the Beatles apparently left to go and get some grub, and ended up watching a film at the nearby ABC Cinema. Upon their return, 1,700 people were in the former ballroom waiting to see the concert. Demolished in 1964, nothing remains of the original building, but a blue plaque has been mounted on the side of what is now an office block named Grosvenor House. But I digress, let's get back to the Regent. The theatre was built by Alexandra Picture House and Theatre Company, who took its name from the Alexandra Mansions development on Prince of Wales Road where they were situated. It was actually constructed behind Alexandra Mansions, using former ground floor shops in the mansions as an entrance. An elegant 1800-seat theatre which attracted not just the most popular films of the day, but also some of the best variety acts in the country. It's also evident that another well-known cinema was just a short distance away on the same side of the road. This was the Electric Cinema, which opened in 1910 and which in 1949 was purchased by my old boss, Victor Harrison of VE8 Cinemas, and no, I wasn't even born then. It was his first cinema in the city and he named it Norvic. He closed it in 1960, and it's not surprising as he was just a few feet away from the hugely popular ABC. The Norvic was demolished in 1961. There's a link in the description to a video of the final show at the Norvic. The film La Dolce Vita. The filmmaker was Jeff Clark, projectionist and contributor to the East Anglian Film Archive. So, click on the link in the description and it will take you straight there. Anyhow, I digress again. Back to the Regent. Now, the Regent was built as a cine-variety, but curiously, the architect forgot to include a projection room in his scheme, and it was not until an engineer arrived to see about fitting the projectors that this omission was realised. Arrangements were hastily made, and as you see in this picture, there being no portholes at the back of the auditorium, it was indeed built under the balcony in the stalls. The auditorium had a barrel vaulted ceiling and boxes either side of the stage. The proscenium was 30 feet wide and the raked stage was 25 feet deep. There was a fly tower and 3 dressing rooms. The theatre also boasted a cafe and a ballroom attached. The Regent Theatre opened on December the 3rd, 1923 with The Prisoner of Zenda, as this press advert clearly shows. But a later press cutting here tells a different story, which probably refers to a later show, which obviously had higher production costs. If you know more, please add a comment below. Imagine walking into the Regent a century ago, passing through the flamboyant foyer, featuring a fountain and a huge goldfish pool, and into the theatre itself with its elaborate plasterwork, orchestra pit and stage for the hugely popular and well-known variety acts which would put on a show along with the films before the talkies arrived. But live shows ceased in 1927 and sound was installed in 1928. As the talkies arrived, the Regent continued to play a leading role in city life, and it was taken over by Associated British Cinemas, ABC, in July 1929. But it wasn't rebranded at that time as an ABC, it continued for a while as the Regent. Look at this. Flags, streamers and crowds await the arrival of the stars that appeared in the new Monty Banks silent film Almost a Honeymoon in September 1930. In 1939 it closed for alterations and reopened with a slightly smaller capacity of 1,523 seats. For all cinema enthusiasts, there's an amateur film shot by chief projectionist of the Regent, Mr. Ken Smith, in 1951, detailing the work of the projectionists at the Regent at that time. The film is again held on the East Anglian Film Archive website, part of the University of East Anglia. The film is just called Work, and we'll put the link in the description. If they wanted to advertise a film, the Regent turned to one of the greatest characters in the city, Dodger and his team, in the 1950s. They biked around the city plugging the film, bedecked on their bikes. This time they were promoting the film Isn't Life Wonderful, 1953. Now in 1961 the ABC was treated to a complete refurbishment and redecoration. It was also rebranded as an ABC and reopened with Carry On Regardless. In the 1960s too, it was popular with kids for the ABC Minors showing on Saturday mornings. Tickets cost just sixpence. The projection room at the Regent pictured when the cinema was being modernised 5th of May 1961. What a great photo. And it was on the 29th of October 1971 the cinema hosted a royal premiere when Her Majesty the Queen Mother attended a charity performance of The Go-Between, the film of Al P. Hartley's novel, which had been filmed on location in Norfolk, mainly at Melton Constable. The cinema closed once more for tripling in 1973, with Screen 1 in the former Circle having 524 seats, Screen 2 and 3 in the former Stalls with 343 and 186 seats respectively. A few years later, in 1978, a video cinema was opened in the former Cafe, with about 75 seats. But this closed in 1985 and was reopened in 1989, thankfully using film, with 105 seats. The theatre was taken over by the Cannon cinema chain in 1986. All 4 screens closed late in 2001 and the interior was apparently gutted. Some say that the balcony was also removed. The shell of the building was converted into the 2,300 capacity Mercy nightclub, which opened on the 23rd of September 2003. The Regent ABC remains Norwich's longest running cinema. Sadly, the auditorium section of the building has now been completely demolished, leaving only the Alexandra Mansion section, which has again been redeveloped into shops.
Did you know that Suncrush, your favourite orange drink, is in this cinema now? It's in a lovely container you can see through, so you know when it's time to buy some more. Ha-ha! Suncrush is on sale now!
You should buy one, try one, buy one now. A warm ice cream.
That's the way. Pass it along and help others to enjoy. Lion's Made ice cream. Butterkist. Kiora Suncrush. Sunpat Nuts. And in the foyer, you can obtain leading brands of cigarettes and confectionery.
That's about it for this one. Please feel free to add any staff names you can think of in the comments below. And until next time, be good to each other, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da!